Hello, everybody. You're watching The Last Word presented by The Vegas Voice. I'm Dan Roberts, the publisher of The Vegas Voice, and along with our political editor, Rana Goodman, our focus will be on senior issues, namely the problems, questions, and hopefully the answers that directly affect our readers and everyone from America's greatest generation and us baby boomers, too.
Before we begin, a quick mention about the Vegas Voice. We're the largest, most read senior publication in Southern Nevada. From Aliante to Boulder City and beyond. If you're over 50, you have to get our monthly newspaper right online.
There you go. And if people want to do so, they can always contact the Vegas Voice at 702-251-4441, or they can email us that at thelastword@thevegasvoice.net. We'd like to start our initial Vegas Voice program by discussing with my political editor and the love of my life, Rana Goodman, guardianship. We have been doing that for so long that it's second nature to us. But you know what? Let's do a quick Guardianship 101, Rana, if we can.
Okay.
Very briefly, what is guardianship?
Well, let's say, what is guardianship, or what should guardianship be? Guardianship is when you have somebody who can no longer handle, or I should say, what should guardianship be? It's when you can no longer handle your own affairs, like let's say when somebody has dementia or Alzheimer's, and they can no longer handle the day-to-day functions like paying their bills, handling their medication, things like that. Then they would need a guardian or someone to take care of those things for them. That's what it should be. Unfortunately, what we've been running into, not only in Clark County, but all over the country, is a new cottage industry called private for-profit guardianship, where you'll have private guardians come in, and because of the power that family courts have given them, they have totally turned it upside down and taken advantage of our seniors.
You know, and one of the things that we reviewed and looked at, and we didn't believe it, is the absolute power of the guardian and the fact that it's sanctioned by the court.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah,
what can a guardian do over a person?
Basically, the guardian becomes that person with the blessing of the court, and that's the scary thing. Normally, you'd think, okay, the guardian's going to come in, they're going to help this person take care of their bills and their everyday living. It goes so far beyond that because the guardian has ultimate power. In the court documents, what it says is the guardian takes over the checking account and saving account. Now, if it stopped there, that's okay because they need to take care of the bills. But they also take over the trust documents. If they exist, they take over the trust. They take over your home, your savings, your investment accounts, every single thing that the person has. They take it over, and in essence, they become that person.
They become that person. And you know, one of the things that we've been doing, and we've been discussing it at our seminars over the last couple of, now over a year and a half, is the fact that people have come back and said, it can't happen to me because I have a power of attorney. And again, we discussed this many, many times,
right,
in which I have power of attorney over my mom. I know you had it over your folks at one time. And someone says, look, I have this piece of paper. I have power of attorney. You can't touch me. And it's not true, is it?
Not true at all. The first thing the court does, once the guardian is made guardian of that person, power of attorney becomes voided because the guardian then has power of attorney. So all other powers of attorney are null and void.
And people do not understand that because they have these beautiful trust documents and they have the power of attorney and they say you can't touch me. But it really isn't true.
No, it's not true. And over again, they'll challenge us in these seminars and they'll say, my attorney said I have a power of attorney in my trust document and I don't have to worry about anything because I'm protected. No, they're not.
They're not.
Absolutely not.
You know, and I know that over the last year, we have tried to look for guardianship reform. And again, we've been up to Carson City. And if you can talk a little bit about what it was like going up to Carson City, again, we're not paid professionals. We're really citizen lobbyists.
Absolutely. And not being attorneys, that's where we get the challenge, you know, and which I'm going to start carrying around with me, one of the court documents we've gotten in researching this to show, hey, here it is, right in the court documents.
Well, again, and right now they're flashing a picture of you before Senator Becky Harris. Talk a little bit about that. What was it like being on the Senate floor when Senator Harris introduced Senate Bill 362, which really got things going?
And it was exciting. I mean, I've been up to Carson City many times over the last few legislative sessions, lobbying for different things. But this particular one, we had started with the fact that something that very few people understood in the state of Nevada before we got this bill passed with the help of Senator Harris and many of the others up there. Nobody realized that in the state of Nevada, if you had relatives outside of the state and you wanted them to be your guardian if that ever was needed, they could not be your guardian. They could be a co-guardian, but they could not be your guardian if they lived outside of Nevada. It was against the law.
It was
absolutely against the law.
I mean, if you think about that, the idea that a adult child says, I want to be guardian of my elderly parent, and the parent says, of course you will, just like most families do.
Right.
You couldn't do it under the Nevada law.
Right. And the funny thing was a lot of legislators were not even aware of that.
And they didn't believe it either.
They did not believe it. So before we went up there, if you recall, I sat down with some of them and I started my conversation by saying that. Did you know? Because I knew the particular legislators that I met with, I knew their children didn't live here. And I said, did you know if something happened to you, your kids couldn't be your guardian? And they would say, what do you mean? That doesn't make sense. And I said, no, but it's a fact. Look it up. In Nevada law, they cannot be.
You know, and it's something that, again, we've been working on it, especially yourself, for over the last year. And it's like we're living it every day.
Right.
And yet nobody realizes just how important it is. And nobody realizes exactly how dangerous it could be. And I guess, again, you also testified before the Clark County Commission to talk about that.
Right. And a lot of the commissioners weren't aware of the pitfalls and what's going on with the guardianship. And it's mostly, it was happening in family court. The family court has a stronghold on this. You had one guardianship commissioner. Everybody thought he was a judge. He was not. He was a commissioner with a judge above him, and they were basically rubber stamping all of these things. And once these people were sucked into a guardianship, many of them needless guardianships, it was hell getting them out. It would take years sometimes to get them out, and in that period of time, their entire estate was decimated.
You know, and we know that now, but what people are unaware of is, let's use my mom as an example, Rana. If she was a guardian and she was a ward, and I wanted to get her out and I wanted to fight the guardian, I'd have to pay legal fees.
You not only had to pay her legal fees, you had to pay the guardian's legal fees.
It comes out of my mom's estate.
Absolutely, out of her estate, which is absolutely unfair, and that's something we're going to fight in the 2017 legislature.
I mean, I want you to understand, it's like the world it's just backwards.
Totally.
In which it is, what do we do to protect the private for-profit guardian? And the wards, in effect, just become collateral damage. And again, we've been looking at many wards, and what happens to them? Even for the ones, like you said, we've rescued, we've helped. What happened to them?
They are collateral damage. They're totally collateral damage because what's happening even now, I mean, we've made a lot of steps forward, but right now, the guardian gets their fees paid. The lawyer gets their fees paid, and the ward, even the wards we've been able to get freed, get nothing. They end up totally broke and destitute. There is no plan for restitution. If they want restitution, and the public has been saying to us, how do they get restitution? They have to file a suit civilly. Well, that takes money. There is no money left.
You know, and one of the things, again, that we've worked on is Phyllis Moskowitz, and it took how many months and how much thousands of dollars in legal fees. And by the time we were done, Phyllis was broke.
Phyllis was free, but she was broke.
She was
You're
broke.
Right.
But, you know, the interesting thing is, and I don't think people understand it, is that they go before the judge and the judge says, okay, you are no longer a ward of the court.
Right. Go and be free.
Go and be free. And then they walk, no, they do. And they walk out of that courtroom and they say, look, I finally won, but now what?
Right.
And how would Phyllis have even gotten home? She had.
She didn't. We drove her home, and we pulled into her driveway. There's a foreclosure notice on her door. She had collection notices from her HOA because the guardian didn't pay the HOA fees. The reverse mortgage had not. The reverse mortgage had paid her property taxes. Nobody had reimbursed them. Nobody even knew they were able to do that. So they had a foreclosure notice on her front door. Her utilities hadn't been paid. Her taxes had not been paid.
Wait a minute.
Nothing.
Nothing. And when you mean nothing, there was no electric.
No,
there was no
nothing.
water.
No food.
There was no food.
Nothing.
Okay. So when the court says, look, we've successfully done our job, she's no longer a ward. What now?
And wait, in addition to nothing being paid, the guardian was standing in front of the judge. The lawyer was standing in front of the judge with another, what was it, $35,000 worth of bills?
Plus another $20,000 for the attorney. They wanted $51,000.
Right.
And the court, at least I looked at it, and I'm sure you felt the same way. They looked at it as, wait a minute, what about their $51,000? Forget the fact that poor Phyllis literally doesn't have any food.
Right.
And it's something that, as crazy as it sounds, it's a real problem. And for people who think it cannot happen to them, well, they're wrong. And we've been trying to fight this for over a year now, hopefully with some success. And, I mean, that leads us to the next part, is through the Vegas Voice, we formed a not-for-profit association. That's the Nevada Association to Stop Guardian and Elder Abuse. It's a mouthful. Talk a little bit about that. What's the purpose behind that?
The purpose behind that is to try and get some help for these people who are literally walking around destitute. There has to be some sort of fund to get them starting their lives again. And right now, we look at the court, we ask for that, and they just say, basically, it's not our problem. That's another issue. Well, that doesn't cut it. When these people are starving and have no place to turn, there has to be something. There has to be some sort of money to get their power turned back on, to get food in their refrigerator, to get them started back on their lives. A perfect example is the Meslows in Boulder City.
Yep. And again, we've been researching that too.
This gentleman was put into a guardianship with no cause. He had no dementia. He had no medical reason to be in a guardianship. And the judge just slammed the gavel. There you go, guardian, take him.
But
with no reason. And now he's living on $35 a month. That's all that's left once Medicaid takes their cut. They take his Social Security, pay $6,000 a month to keep him in a nursing home he doesn't belong in, he doesn't want to be in, and he can't be moved because none of the other places will take Medicaid.
He has no place to go.
No place to go.
Okay. Well, we are, again, the fundraiser is coming up.
Right.
And we have that scheduled, for June 8th. A little bit about that. Who's going to get the award for on behalf of the association?
This will be our very first one. So we want to give our Rosie Award to Darcy Spears, because Darcy...
Darcy, wait, and for those who are not familiar, who is Darcy?
Darcy Spears is Channel 13's investigative reporter.
It's the ABC
affiliate here in Nevada, and she has, God bless her, kept the spotlight shining on this, because if we don't keep the spotlight shining on this issue, people will forget about it, and we cannot afford to allow anyone to forget about this issue.
You know, and one of the things that, again, we get a kick out of is that, again, we've been reporting on it, but we are just a monthly newspaper, and it's across town, but obviously we don't have the reach of a Darcy Spears of ABC TV.
Exactly.
And we don't have the reach of even the Review Journal. But it's something where it affects our readers more than anybody else in town.
Exactly.
And the idea of the association coming to the aid of these victims, but not only that, because, again, we're having that on our June 8th fundraiser, but we have different plans to go forward. In effect, I think we very strongly believe that we can literally solve the entire guardianship scandal, and it really is not just a Clark County or Nevada state. It's really a nationwide problem.
Yes, it is. And the way we're going to solve it, we want to use volunteers. We've had a tremendous amount of people who've shown up at our seminars, and they want to help in whatever way they can. A lot of them are retired accountants. some retired attorneys that want to give their time, their expertise to help these people.
Okay.
And the Guardianship Commission, started by Chief Justice Hardesty of the Nevada Supreme Court, has already said that he will back our volunteer program. We're going to sit and talk about how and everything else, but we've been getting volunteers saying they want to step up and help. And that's what we're going to talk about at our fundraiser, too.
That's correct. And again, a little bit of information about the fundraiser. Mm-hmm. It's going to be on June 8th. Mm-hmm. It's going to be at the Silverton Casino.
Right.
And besides the award, again, we called it the Rosie Award.
Yeah, tell them how we came up with Rosie.
Let me come with the plug on that. Because over time, those of us who are of a certain age, remember during World War II, the Rosie the Riveters, the women who stepped up and really saved this country while the men fought in World War II. Mm-hmm. And now the Rosies are now elderly. They're in an advanced age. They need our help. And just like they helped save the country during World War II, we're looking to help them. So that's how we came up with the name Rosie to do it. And again, we have that. We're going to have fantastic entertainment. We have all these people coming on board. The performance, it's still a little bit of a secret, but we'll tell you about that coming up, and it'll be in the next issue of the Vegas Voice. But again, we have plans on behalf of the Vegas Voice, and that's why we're doing this TV show right now, to alert the public to everything that's going to be affecting the senior issues.
Right, absolutely. And we're just hoping all of our viewers and all of our readers will show up June 8th, and we'll have one hell of an affair.
And again, for those of you who want to get tickets or want more information about the June 8th fundraiser, the association fundraiser, please give us a call at 702-251-4441. They can always email me, Dan at thevegasvoice.net. And if you want to get someone who's better looking than I am and is more and is a lot nicer than I am, you have our political editor, Rana Goodman, and you can reach Rana at Rana, R-A-N-A, at thevegasvoice.net. So in the time we have left, what's the main thing that you think we should do to alert the public as to the perils of guardianship? I want to put you on the spot right now. What do you want to tell people?
Fill out the guardianship nomination form, which is on the front page of our website, www.thevegasvoice.net. It's right at the bottom of our homepage. Fill it out. Make sure you send a copy to your nominated guardian. And if you would like, send a copy to us for safekeeping. Keep one for yourself. Make sure you nominate who you want to be your guardian. So if anything, God forbid, happens to you, you are protected.
And again, we'll go into that another time.
Yeah,
but
another time we'll talk about it more.
This guardianship nominated form, which we have on our website, it's in our newspaper, just by filling it out, just think of all the trouble and all the problems a person can avoid from this industry.
Absolutely, because in the new Senate Bill 262, it asks you to nominate a guardian. That way no one can do it for you. You have who you want taking care of you if the need ever arises. The court can't just name one for you. They must honor who you have chosen.
Yeah, and again, it is something that we feel, obviously, that is so important and is so detrimental to a family. It rips you apart.
Absolutely.
If you get caught in it. And just take a very simple precaution to fill out the form. Keep in mind, it's one page. Keep in mind, there's no charge. And one of the things that we've been asking is, why wouldn't you fill it out except you're lazy? And that's not good enough because the repercussions are just incredible.
Yep.
So anyway, I think we survived our first show.
Hi.
I mean, it's not over yet, but I think we got in the less than a minute or so that we got left. Not bad for a first time.
No, I think we did good.
All right, so now let's get ready for the closing. You ready now for the closing? We're going to do that right now.
Right, that's mine because I get the last word.
And that's what you have right there. So what we want to do is we want to thank everyone for watching The Last Word, presented by the Vegas Voice.
Okay, and if you don't already get the Vegas Voice, please give us a call and we will make sure to put you on our VIP list so that you will get it. It's a great paper. You'll enjoy reading it.
And again, phone number 702-251-4441, or you can email Dan at thevegasvoice.net, Rana at thevegasvoice.net, and more importantly, The Last Word at thevegasvoice.net. Until next time, this is Dan Roberts and Rana Goodman Wishing everyone all the best for your health, wealth, and good times.
See you next time.